2 Samuel chapter 6. David mustered the pick of the troops of Israel, 30 divisions of them. Together with his soldiers, he headed for Baalah to recover the chest of God, which was called by the name God-of-the-Angel-Armies, who was enthroned over the pair of angels on the chest. They placed the chest of God on a brand new oxcart and removed it from Abinadab's house on the hill. Uzzah and Ahio, Abinadab's sons, were driving the new cart loaded with the chest of God. Ahio in the lead and Uzzah alongside the chest. David and the whole company of Israel were in the parade, singing at the top of their lungs and playing mandolins and harps, tambourines, castanets and cymbals. When they came to the threshing floor of Nacon, the oxen stumbled, so Uzzah reached out and grabbed the chest of God. God blazed in anger against Uzzah and struck him hard because he had profaned the chest. Uzzah died on the spot, right alongside the chest. Then David got angry because of God's deadly outburst against Uzzah. That place is still called Perez Uzzah, The-Explosion-Against-Uzzah. David became fearful of God that day and said, "This chest is too dangerous to handle. How can I ever get it back to the city of David?" He refused to take the chest of God a step farther. Instead, David removed it off the road and to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. The chest of God stayed at the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite for 3 months, and God prospered Obed-Edom and his entire household. It was reported to King David that God had prospered Obed-Edom and his entire household because of the chest of God. So David thought, "I'll get that blessing for myself," and went and brought up the chest of God from the house of Obed-Edom to the city of David, celebrating extravagantly all the way with frequent sacrifices of choice bulls. David ceremonially dressed in priest's linen, danced with great abandon before God. The whole country was with him, and he accompanied the chest of God with shouts and trumpet blasts. But as the chest of God came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, happened to be looking out of the window. When she saw King David leaping and dancing before God, her heart filled with scorn. They brought the chest of God and set it in the middle of the tent pavilion that David had pitched for it. Then and there David worshipped, offering burnt offerings and peace offerings. When David had completed the sacrifices of burnt and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the God of the angel armies and handed out to each person in the crowd, men and women alike, a loaf of bread, a date cake, a raisin cake. Then everyone went home. David returned home to bless his family. Michal, Saul's daughter, came out to greet him. "How wonderful! The king has distinguished himself today, exposing himself to the eyes of the servant maids like some burlesque street dancer." David replied to Michal, "In God's presence, I'll dance all I want. He chose me over your father and the rest of our family and made me prince over God's people, over Israel. Oh yes, I'll dance to God's glory, more recklessly even than this. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll gladly look like a fool. But among these maids you're so worried about, I'll be honoured no end." Michal, Saul's daughter, was barren the rest of her life.